Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dugout Mug Studios. This is a Variety Sports Network production. It's the 7th inning stretch.
Let's go to work here on 7th inning stretch here. We're in September baseball. We got 1 month to go here on 7th inning stretch, Variety Sports Network. And we're going to kind of change it up a little bit here as we enter playoff baseball here. I got Logan Stone back with us for another week. And of course, we have Josh Edwards as always. Josh Edwards, Logan Stone. We all said before, we're all tired before we came on. These baseball players are tired. They might be making millions of dollars, but that does not matter. They are fatigued. We need to be here with them. We've been through it the whole season. Let's go, Josh Edwards. Come on, we're almost through.
Where's my cut? If I want some of their money, if they're just as tired as we are, I want some of their money.
Brandon, that's where you pop in. No,
little money. We present these guys. We support these guys, all of them. Where's our cut? Where's our cut?
Don't start.
No, today.
I can't hear any of your stupid takes.
Logan, good. Thank you for saying that today, Logan. Hey, just a little thing here. We got a little different here. Make sure you like and subscribe up to 619 here on Variety Sports Network. You will maybe be seeing from Brandon here in the background. He's going to be producing the show. We're kind of mixing things up here a little bit, kind of as we kind of enter into a new chapter here of 7th inning, kind of finishing strong here. So you might be hearing from him. He might be having a lot of work, more of the work that he thought. When we start saying, hey, look up this from 1912. So he might have more stuff than we thought there. So, Brandon, you might be hearing from here as we get going here on the show. All right, gentlemen, as we go into it, let's start with the biggest thing we want to get into, and that's the Cy Young, right? Can anybody catch Skubal or Chris Sale in this Cy Young race? These are going to be the big things as we get going here. These are the big dogs going in. They both have the 200 strikeout season. They're both lefties, both nasty. Logan, let's start with you, the guest here on it. We haven't touched. I feel like me and Edwards have kind of not avoided the conversation, but we just really haven't gone deep into it in a sense. What do you kind of make of the Cy Young awards here? Maybe in the AL. Let's start with the AL there with Skubal there. What do you kind of make of that with it?
What the race as a whole? Who?
Yeah, how do you see it playing out? Skubal's obviously been the dominant force. I could make a case for Clase. That's kind of where I see them. How do you see it?
Skubal is leading the AL in wins, strikeouts, and ERA. So he's got the triple crown.
He's been dominant.
Triple crown on him. To me, if you win the Triple Crown, you win the Cy Young. I think that's pretty.
So you don't think Clase has a chance in this?
No,
they win the division. He's been really good. He been
has.
Right there. The Guardians win the division.
I just don't. To me, I
all
think
about starters.
Yeah, I think it's really hard. Yeah, I think if Skubal wasn't having just as good of a season, then we would definitely be seeing Emmanuel Clase, because other than Skubal and Clase, it hasn't been unbelievable, especially from the starters, I would say. And so I think what you have here is right. Clase is second. I would probably put Lugo if I'm going off remembering at the moment.
No, he's been good.
Yeah, Lugo at 3 and then Corbin at 4. But other than that, yeah, to me, I think it's Skubal's to lose. And I don't think he even can lose at this point.
He's been pretty awesome this year. The last start there, just getting the 200 Ks, the emotion he's showing. Detroit's over 500. That's got to mean something for that, for that community out there. I would think as Detroit Tigers fans. Edwards, we randomly did a pod in February on them as they're kind of getting ready for it. I just see it as, Scooby Snacks. What a big, I feel like a little armor on their chest for Detroit if Skubal's able to get this.
Yeah. Dude, Logan covered my entire point of view on this for once.
Yeah, but hold on. That makes me skeptical of what you're thinking. If you're saying if you're saying like I put it to you, I was expecting to be like, no, Skubal's dominated. Like to me, it was like, yeah, of course he's dominated. Nobody else is in the conversation. Is that what you're basically saying? With it?
Yeah. That's what I'm. It's like, yeah, I can't debate that. Like,
how can Clase not be in the conversation? He's leading the division. He's converted like what? He's only blown one save on the year. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. I'm just saying there's
if anybody has an argument, it's Clase. I don't think Burns or Lugo or Valdez are even there. I just don't think they're close. If anybody's going to make an argument, it is Clase. But I think, like Logan said, if Skubal gets the Triple Crown, Clase doesn't have an argument. I don't care. I mean, if you lead in every category, you're the best pitcher.
Yeah,
it is what it is. And if he's got the most wins with that team, that's insane. Think of how many wins he'd have if he was on a playoff caliber team. That's how I look at it. Clase is going to be Clase wherever he goes. That's great. Skubal's only going to get better with a better team.
Let me ask you this, and then we'll go low. Is Clase for you number 2, or do you have somebody ahead of him?
No, Clase is my clear-cut number 2 in the AL. I only have 2 guys on my list.
How about Gilbert? He's got to be right there.
Gilbert's great. I would have had Gilbert over Framber Valdez personally, and I would have had Lugo over Burns. Actually, I probably would have had Lugo. Yeah, I would have left Burns in there. So
interesting. All right, because Gilbert has a good chance at number 2 as well. He might be right in that conversation for the second spot. Logan, what do you make of it? And then we'll get to NL.
I was just gonna say, one thing that is a big thing to me is Skubal has 169 innings pitched, where Clase has 65.
Yeah, he does.
And I think to me that's just such a big thing, because I mean, when you have to go in and pitch at least 7 innings a day, or a start, that's a lot more. That's so much more difficult than only appearing for 3 outs. I
will say Lugo has pitched 186 innings. If we're going off of that, but he also has 63 earned runs on the year with 159 strikeouts.
Yeah, I think it just in the fact that Clase doesn't. I mean, he's got a 70 ERA, a 0.7 ERA, which is fantastic, and I would take that if I'm a Yankee fan or a Cardinals fan.
No doubt.
But I think whenever you have 169 innings pitched over the 65, that I think that has to be considered into a factor. And I understand that there have been closers, closers who have won the Cy Young. I just think it's better circumstances.
No, that's for sure. No doubt. I hear you. I think the innings pitch is going to probably put Skubal, just like Josh said. Maybe it is a Triple Crown. I think Clase does have our Tyler. He'll get the Rolaids Relief Award. Yes, he will. He will get those Rolaids. It's very important when you're sick, people. You got to get those. You got to get those there with it. Tyler, he'll get it. He's a beast. He's on a Hall of Fame career path. He's kind of right there with it. But I agree, he might not be in that. It'd be interesting who the number 2 starter is that's chosen in the American League as the runner-up to Skubal. That's kind of, for me, what I'll be looking for. Who will be number 2 in that conversation? What do you guys make of the NL side of things here? Chris Sale has been off to. I mean, come on. We all did a pod. I was looking back, and it was like the Chris Sale episode way back when he signed. And Edwards, you were very harsh on Christopher Sale.
I was flat wrong.
That was a rare Logan Stone way. He joined us during that time, and we were there, Logan. We both liked Sale to the team. Like, yes, he got a little crazy there in that minor league season, what is it? He's already pitched more innings than he had this year than he did all 4 years with Boston. Like, I saw something crazy like that. He's on it, Logan. He's his 8th year now with 200 strikeouts. We're talking about one of the best pitchers in a decade here. And he's got another chance to put a Cy Young at the cap of this year. I mean, what a storybook kind of year for him.
He definitely has won comeback player of the year. And so, yeah, it's very impressive, honestly. But yeah, I think it's Sale, and I mean, I can't see Sale losing this.
It's pretty. Do you think it's farther ahead for him or Skubal?
Man, yeah, I think Sale is more of a landslide because, I mean, Wheeler has a 2.63 ERA, whereas Sale has a 2.46. And I think he's kind of close to an extent, but other than that, Logan Webb isn't necessarily close. Hunter Green has been injured too much, I think.
That injury killed him. He had a chance. That injury killed him.
And Dylan Cease has been, I mean, he's been good, but he's just kind of been, he's too far away. So I think Wheeler is close, but not close enough to where we are at the season. It's just too late.
And it's crazy, Josh, that he's started this many games. And not you. I mean, I really want to get your thought. I mean, you were harsh on him. I listened back. You were pretty tough on him. You're like, this is a ridiculous signing. You had every right to say some of the stuff. You did some, maybe a little over, but you said most of it there with it. I mean, he's like Logan said, he's kind of walking away with it a little bit now, as Wheeler kind of had a start or two. So unless Sale just blows up the last 3 starts, he's going to win this thing running away. I mean, what a season for this guy. What a season. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer.
Well, when it was either you or Brandon texted, you needed Cy Young guys. The first 2 guys I said were Skubal and Sale. I mean, that was all I put. That's all I gave you in the text message. I didn't give you anybody else.
No, I hear you.
So, I mean, that's just kind of where my position is on it. I think Sale's the clear-cut winner. I think he could blow up 2 of the last 3 games, and he still beats Wheeler out. I think you have Green. I think Green's too high there. I would put him at 5 at best, and I would move Cease and Webb up. But, that's just kind of where I'm at on it. But yeah, Sale's got this one. This is a fantastic season. If he can do this a couple more times, he reaches distinguished history with guys who had double-digit 200 strikeout seasons.
He's at number 8. I mean, he's in a rare category.
Yeah, he's got to do it 2 more times. So
Nolan Ryan 15, just to let people know.
Yeah, nobody's ever catching Nolan Ryan. Not in our day and age. Not in our day and age. Now, if we were kids and somebody did it at the time that we were growing up, I could have seen that possibly happening, but not now. Not with the way the game is played. So, no, I think this year Cy Youngs are pretty well locked up. I thought they were locked up in the middle of August, to be honest. So,
By the way, my number 2 has changed significantly in the last 30 seconds. So,
we're going to get to that here when we get the top headlines here in a minute. I think are we talking about the no-hitter in Chicago? Is that what we're talking about?
No, I'm talking about Paul Skeens needs to be on this list.
Whoa, Tyler McGurk here with it. Tyler, same thing. Where's Mr. Skeens over Webb for sure? That's his comment. Go ahead, Logan. Your thoughts on Paul Skeens?
No, I mean, he's got 19 starts, which I didn't think he had as many, which, I mean, Cease has 29, Sale has 26, but he's got a 2.13 ERA, a 1.98 ERA plus, which is better than Chris Sale. Now, I'm not saying that is going to sway anything.
I gotcha.
But he's got 142 strikeouts already, whereas Sale has 206, but that's with 7 more starts, a 32.0 K percentage, and Sale has a 32.4. 30 walk. I mean, he walks a lot of batters. He's got 30 walks, whereas Sale has 34. I mean, he's got a 5.1 WAR, and whereas Sale has a 5.6. So I think Skeens has a really good case to make an upset. I mean, if Sale is not on
over Wheeler.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Wheeler, I mean, he's just not. I think Wheeler has just gotten. Yeah. I think if Skeens even blows up the rest of the season, he's in a better position than Wheeler is. Wheeler has a 2.63 ERA, 1.57 ERA plus, 183 strikeouts.
So I'm off my rocker a little bit then. If you guys both have, he has at least Skeens 5. Tyler, you have him number 2. I mean, maybe I'm a little. Edwards, where do you have him? Do you have him top 5?
Nope.
All right, old school baseball.
Really?
That's where I like Josh.
Then I will give you one reason why I don't have him in the top 5. He has not pitched enough games, in my opinion.
He's
Even
been
good. He's been fantastic,
but he's not been better than Cease or
no.
He's not been better
That's
than
what I'm saying. He doesn't have enough innings, in my opinion, in games to qualify. Like, you need to be 165, 170 innings minimum, in my opinion. But that's my person. I'm not saying the MLB should do that. I'm not saying the voters should vote like that. That's my personal standard. You need to be around 170 innings to even be eligible. If he goes out and he Ks 12 of each of the next 3 games, maybe there I can go, okay, you know what? He's definitely top 5.
I mean,
in the time he did, if he can do that and break 160, 170 strikeouts in the low amount of innings, I'm all in on him being probably number 3.
Is 50 innings that big of a difference to you, though?
Yes. In today's game, that's 10 starts.
More than that, maybe.
And maybe more than that, or maybe less than that. Maybe just a little less than that. Even if they go 6 innings to start, that's still what, 9, 8.5 starts. I'm not doing math right now. It's after work. I do math all day long at work. I'm not trying to do no math. So,
Brandon, you got something you want to chime in with here?
Yes, I do actually. I think one name that you might be leaving off here is Aaron Nola. 28 starts, 172 innings pitched. His ER is 63, earned runs 63, strikes 162. He does have 1 shutout on the season. There's only one other Cy Young race participant right now with a shutout, and that's his partner in crime, Ranger Suarez. He's 12-6 on the season with a 3.29 ERA.
Too many losses and the ERA is too high.
Look at Brandon, the producer, bringing in.
But I love the stats, Brandon.
I do. Hey, can I get to Tyler's here? Maybe Brandon, you can help me with this in the background as you're doing it. Tyler, Chris Sale, he says Hall of Famer. He's questioning me on this one. I just came to my mind. You have 8 seasons of 200+ strikeouts. He said, I don't know about Daren. Those playoff numbers are ugly, and injuries don't give him elite totals. Logan, I know you're a Hall of Fame guy a little bit. What do you make of that? You think he's on the path to that, or is Tyler on to something here a little bit more than I am?
I think, man, to me, he just hasn't done anything truly great, in my opinion. I don't know. And I think, hold on, let's look at his game started, because I think what's going to keep him out is 2018 to 2023, right?
Those stats right there.
Yeah. Let's see.
Because Brandon will help get us out there. You just give me this. You give me your thoughts with him as well. Brandon will get the stats.
Yeah, he just hasn't started enough in the last couple of years. I mean, missed all of 2020, which whatever, it's a wash year. Only 9 starts in 21 and 2 starts in 22.
But how many All-Star games? How many? Would this be his first Cy Young? I mean, I don't. Like these are.
Yeah.
So that maybe. I don't know.
I mean, he was in the Cy Young contention like between 2012 and 2018 with how many?
Maybe this is like me jumping the gun
8
with
All-Stars. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. It's just one of those things where
maybe you're right. Maybe I jumped the gun, Logan. Go ahead, Brandon. You got a thought. Go ahead.
So you talk about his playoff stats. It says playoff numbers are ugly. So he has 10 playoff appearances, all with Boston. His win percentage is, so he's 1-3 technically in 10 starts.
Good.
Win percentage is .250. So his ERA in those 10 games is 6.35. Strikeouts 47. Innings pitched 34.
Man, Tyler wishes you were on right now to say, I told you so. That was beautiful right there on the spot.
Wasn't he the World Series hero in 18?
Hey, but did he throw that 2 innings shutout right there?
Yeah,
That's what it sounds like based on that percentage.
No,
right there.
Didn't it come in like a closer role or something, a relief role?
I think he did right there. And I want to get into 2 guys here before we move on. Is we have Dylan Cease and we have Hunter Green. I got my guy Doug on here. I'll get this up for his Brandon on this one here. As I got Doug on here, he's going to give his thoughts on Hunter Green. We've had him on before. it's a little Hunter Green to me, like I said, I feel like he was in this race until that injury. I really did feel strongly about that. And then he really, that injury killed him.
What's up, guys? It's Doug from Ohio Sports Talk, and I have a bold prediction for the 7th inning stretch crew. Next season, I 100% believe Hunter Green will finish first or second for NL Cy Young. This past year, Hunter Green was fantastic. Finished 9-4.
Second, NL Cy Young. Kind of froze there a little bit, Doug. Sorry about that. But what do you guys make? First or second, NL Cy Young. He's a red. He's in division. He does look like he's coming on a little bit. I have him 3 here. To me, him and Cease are kind of the guys. But let's Hunter Green just for a quick second. Edwards, do you think he finishes 1 or 2 next year?
No, I'll take the field.
What do you think, Logan? Field or 1 or 2?
I'm looking at his walks.
He's been pretty good.
I think that's gonna kill him if anything. I know he's been.
He
better
hits a lot
this
of batters. Year. I saw he hits about 10 more batters than the top guys. I saw that. I just think his stuff has always been there, and he's kind of finally figured it out a little bit. I was very disappointed to see him go down. He's must-watch TV for me when he's pitching. So for me, I was pretty disappointed. And Logan, 1 or 2 or the field? What do you got?
I don't see it. I don't think he's 1 or 2 next year. I think he's top 10, top 5. I think walks are going to hit him eventually, and I think just having a mediocre team around him, I don't think there's a way that they can. The ERA is going to help him, or the FIP is. I mean, he's got a 3.42 FIP right now, which isn't bad. But whenever you're looking at like Cy Young awards, they're like in the. I think Chris Sale is at 207 right now. That's his FIP, and I don't think that's the end all be all. So Josh, put away your rage for a second. But I think that is a big factor when you're considering that. Like, what is it like? How are you yourself doing? I just don't see him there yet. I think in 2 years, maybe we could see him hit number 2 and then eventually number 1. But I think right now, Paul Skeens has a lot better control. And I think he's already winning next year. So
NL Central, not easy division right here. Go ahead, Braden.
Logan, you brought up the walks, but so here's his walks per 9 innings is 3.33, where strikeouts per inning is 3.06.
Hey, I want to spend no more than 60 seconds on this, Logan. No more. So let's focus here for me. I'm gonna have to cut your ass off. This is what I have for you. Wow. Last week it was a topic with baseball on the MLB thing with the hitting and changing the triple crowd. So I was like, well, what the hell? Let's throw this towards pitchers. What do you have? What are you changing here with pitchers in the triple crowd?
Wins is the big one for me.
What are you replacing it with? What are you replacing it with?
I'm probably
FIP. Don't give me that.
No, maybe not FIP.
But he thought about it. That's what I was getting at. He was going to use some advanced analytic.
What? I mean, I think FIP would be good, but I don't know if that's enough. Honestly, maybe just games started or something.
What? Over?
I'd rather have games started.
Games started over wins? Are you kidding me? What are you, Bartolo?
Yes, I think you can't possibly be giving me this. If you pitch so well and all you do is give up 1 home run at the beginning of the game, and then all of a sudden – your team decides to beat the St. Louis Cardinals and not score at all, and then you still get saddled with the loss, even though you threw a no-hitter after the first batter who hit a home run. I don't think that should hurt against you because your team
still gave up the home run. No. That's the worst argument to not use wins I've ever heard.
I'm just saying that I think to me that would be the. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Such a millennial.
That's not a millennial thing. What does win and losses do?
Josh, do you like all? Hold on, Josh. Do you like all 3? The wins is a little weird now.
I mean, so. Okay.
But to me, you have to keep it. What else do you keep? It has to.
You
be.
know how vehemently I defended keeping the Triple Crown for batting
Yeah.
because it's tradition and it's been around, the whole 9 yards.
Oh, yeah. You don't give us the Missouri thing.
Wins, I think it should stay. But I can understand, and I could probably even be persuaded with a good argument to get rid of wins if you could find me another stat to put in there. That's why I guess
whip.
I mean, whip would be better.
Yeah.
Whip or FIP. I mean, what? I mean,
To me, it's whip wins. That it can't be anything other than whip. It has to be whip. It has to be the walk plus hits.
Now, hold on. Let's dive into this real quick. Logan, why does Daren say it should be whip and not FIP? Say that 5 times fast.
It's easier to say. That's bigger. That's a bigger reason.
I don't know. I mean, to me, the reason why I like FIP is just because it looks at the pitcher himself and it doesn't look at the team around him. So
it's walks plus innings pitched. That's what it is.
No, yeah, I get it.
Walks plus hits. You're saying the defender could give up an easy hit.
Yeah, like if you have the single worst defensive team and, you just have the guy hitting right at, Marcell Ozuna every time, I think that hurts. But I think that's why I like the FIP. But, I understand whip. I think whip is a very important stat.
All right. That's what I thought. I thought we were there with it. Hold on. You would have FIP. I would have whip. Josh would have what rhymes with whip. No, I'm just kidding. Josh, what would you have? What would you have there? You would have win still.
Again, it's traditional. I like tradition. I don't like the game changing. They've changed enough. But
Masters.
If I was going to go one way or the other, I would go FIP over whip.
All right. I like the saying too. What do we got for closers, gentlemen? Let's keep the show moving here. What closers are you trusting the most to win this season? I think we obviously have Clase in the mix. Helsley, he was not very good for me last year. He's bounced back this year. He's been better. I still love my guy Devin Williams out there in Milwaukee. Josh Hader, Mason Miller, Edwards. Fun fact, what do you got?
Ryan Helsley. The Cardinals are 52-6 in games he pitches this year.
Not a bad record. Not a bad record when he's in the game.
They have like 69 wins, and he's got 45 saves or something.
Yeah.
He's without Ryan Helsley. That the Cardinals
the Cardinal team is toast.
Yeah, so
they're easily in last place.
But Claus.
He's been that special. You guys feel like he's been that special?
He's just been consistent, honestly.
Every time you have a chance to win, he pulls it up. I gotcha.
You more times than not, yeah. He likes to make it exciting because he'll come in with like a 2-run lead. Well, this dummy will give up a homer right off the bat, or he'll walk somebody on I'm not gonna say a blown call, a questionable call, because I think an ump's job is very difficult. Or a borderline call. He'll walk somebody on that. Then he'll give up a single, and the guy he walked ends up getting a third, and then somebody will commit an error, and a run gets in, and then it gets the game closer on him. But yeah, he makes it exciting when he's in. But yeah, he'd be my number 2.
If any Braves fan wants to kill me and put Iglesias ahead of Miller, I'm okay with that. I'm all right if you want to do that. He was the closer of the month. I mean, he was good this month. He's been really good recently. Miller. So
you're giving him recency bias, or are you giving him over the course of the season? Be honest.
Oh, I'm just saying recency. He has kind of taken over a little bit. He's been one of the best closers probably for the last few months. But Miller, he's kind of dropped off a little. He's still been good, but not quite as dominant as he was the first part. But Devin Williams to me sneaks in there again at 3. I know he was short on the list, but I don't know. Hader is still there. I mean, I question.
I'm surprised you have Williams that high, considering he was out for the majority of the season.
I love Williams. I think Devin Williams. I told you that's the reason I picked the Brewers to win the division.
I realized that this wasn't like what is like who are you like who's the best all around now is who is the like who do you trust going into October?
Yeah, who do you trust? Let's go to there. I like that.
Yeah. Is that not what you were saying? Oh, okay. I trust.
Give me both. Give me both.
Yeah, Clase and Clase, honestly, but I would rather have Clase than Helsley. I would rather have Clase than Hader. I think Hader is kind of a nut job at this point.
How about you think Hader's really in that job in there now? He's been good this month. He won.
I wouldn't want Hader in my clubhouse.
Why?
He's
a cancer and he's a bitch.
A cancer? Oh, that's a little strong.
Cancer. Hold on. Listen, Wow.
I've never cussed on air. My apologies.
That was not your wife will we said that to his wife, Brandon. Then we get into Mother Edwards. Is Mother Edwards listening?
Yeah.
I
Where's
want
Mother
Tune in
Edwards?
Because
If
Logan was gonna be
Mama
on.
Edwards is listening, I expect a response.
I mean, haters got.
You won't get a response. I'll get a text message.
I expect a response from Mother Edwards, even though Logan's on fan favorite. Go ahead, Logan. Yeah.
Haters got haters 7-7 on the year. So
Yeah.
Punk.
now I can I do actually attribute wins and losses to closers.
How about
Well, that
how
makes
about a guy-
sense.
How about a guy we haven't thrown out? So Finnegan's in the race as well for saves. You have and the guy that he's been good kind of recently is Kirby Yates for the Rangers, but also this guy Martinez for the Diamondbacks. He's come. I mean, this guy he reminds me of Francisco Rodriguez on steroids a little bit, like in terms of coming in late, like into a season, and you're like, what in the world is this guy? Like this guy throws 102. He has absolutely nasty Rob
What's up,
Nennis
Jim?
sliders there. He is filthy. So this guy Martinez you got to keep a lookout for him. He's going to be a huge role for the Diamondbacks come postseason as well. And then can I get this one up on the screen for Twitter? This guy last night, Jones,
Oh my gosh.
throws 105.5
Oh,
0.5.
less. Let's get it up here and see what it looks like here.
Swing and a miss, strike three. It was 105.5 miles an hour.
No
He knew
way.
He knew it.
105.5.
Unreal.
I'd have walked
Are
off
you
the mound
kidding
with that
me?
too.
Boom. Right there
Gas.
with it. I mean,
What
that's
about this guy?
Huh?
What do you guys think about Carlos Estevez from the Traveling Board Gamer, one of our loyal listeners in the chat this evening?
He's been good. I mean, the Phillies, we 24 out of 28 as saves. For me, the one thing I do like about him, and I always look about this with relievers, is the first thing I look at is your average. What is your average against at the end of the season? It's under 200. It's at 179. That tells me he's keeping guys off base. So I don't hate him since they've picked him up. Angels reliever. What do you got, Logan? Since you got something.
Oh, he's third on the list of the guys on here. He's behind Helsley and not behind Helsley. He's behind Clase and Devin Williams. So
yeah. I mean, he's been.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the guys that I look at. I just think closers I've kind of wanted to get into for a while, a little bit, kind of looking at it, and some of the guys just kind of who they're. To me, it's always one of those positions come playoff time. Like, I'm curious what happens with the Orioles along the way, too. Like, where do they end up going with the closer position? Obviously, we talked a little bit over text about the Yankees yesterday as well. What happens with them? I'll get into that a little bit more here with it, but I want to keep the show moving a little bit. What do you guys – we go ahead, Brandon. What do you got?
About Robert Suarez for the Padres. 55 games pitched, 55 innings. He's 8-2 with a 1.96 ERA, 31 saves on the year. Save percentage is 91.2, which is just 0.1 less than Ryan Helsley, along with about eight strikes per 9 innings with a whip of 0.96.
Well, the other thing, too, on that note with the Padres is Tanner Scott. I always like that pickup, underrated. I think, Logan, when we did that deadline
That was
show.
huge.
Yeah, I think we kind of talked about him a little bit more. We kind of both were like, yeah, that's kind of one of those ones that could play out big time in October. To your point,
I was
Edwards.
surprised that they didn't have to give up more for him. Like, he was one of my favorites to go get.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
that's
he was.
just how I was. Like, I felt like I was kind of on an island alone. But I was so surprised he didn't go for more.
Suarez over Hader, though, I don't know. I mean, Hader did just come off AL relief pitcher of the month. It's not like he's been a bum recently. He's been better. So I don't know. Jamarcus, first half, Holmes is
what's up, buddy?
He's
How are you,
been
man?
he's been terrible. Holmes blown 11 saves.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
last night against the Rangers in epic fashion, blows it there. I mean, that's as bad a loss as you're going to get right there. I mean, you could tell the announcers. I was listening to the Yankees broadcast. when I was watching the game, and you could tell like they were even like, oh yeah,
Not
gotta have that,
surprised.
yeah, like kind of Clay Holmes there, limit the blown save, not oh my god, it was like oh there we go, typical
Yeah.
with not with it. I love it. He's been so bad. He has been awful along the way too.
It's been the worst.
I want to get into him a little bit with Diamond Notes, a little bit to Holmes along the way, but I do have major questions with that. All right, let's get into this for a few minutes. What do you guys make of the St. Louis Cardinals and the San Francisco Giants? They both seem stuck in the middle. What franchise do you trust more to return to the World Series first? I guess, that's the broad question in this, but you said the Cardinals have been 70-68, 2 games over 500. But from the sense of doing this podcast with a Cardinals fan most of the time, listening online, it does seem like, other than Brandon, it's been a disappointment most of the time to the season. Logan, we can always count on you for a good rip job once in a while on the Cardinals as well. So I always appreciate that. And then Tyler, he's tough on the Giants. I mean, the Giants have really struggled as well. They're 3 games under.
They're the same team.
That's kind of my point. Is like,
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like, where are we at with these these 2 like iconic franchises, and they're both kind of. It's not like like top 5 worst mud, but it's just right in the middle, and that sometimes feels worse. So, what do you kind of make of that, Edwards?
I think TBG right there is right. I don't think that's always true. I think it's worked out in certain years, but I mean these teams.
They do have somewhat.
I'm trying to think of how to phrase this properly because my phraseology is not going to be the best because I'm angry about it.
Your Cardinals are 2 games over 500, so it's not like you can be like, oh my god,
2 games over 500.
You selfish.
Averageness is for losers. I'm sorry. Being average is for losers. 500 is average. C grades are average. I'm not getting down that line. Never mind. No, the Cardinals, we just have higher expectations of our team, and we can deal with a losing season. Here's the problem on the Cardinals side, though. The front office came out and sold us, we made improvements. We spent more money. We went and got pitching. We got these young studs coming up. Okay, and you mismanaged every single part of it. You went and got retreads that haven't done anything outside of the first 3 months of the season. Yes, Kyle Gibson has been consistent most of the year, but he has obviously run out of gas. Lance Lynn was a mistake. Sonny Gray is not what you portrayed him to be. You let Jordan Walker make the team out of camp, and then you send him back down. You should have let him work through it like Mason Wynn did because, Mason Wynn had a bad start at the end of the year last year when he got called up. But he made the team out of camp, and he wasn't hitting perfect out of camp. So they've mismanaged and misran this team so poorly that the fans are not even showing up, and ownership is finally noticed.
Okay, but I honestly, before we get to Logan, I feel like you've always been more like peppy about the team and the franchise, and Logan's always been like, hey, Josh, this is the reality of the situation a little bit. This is where Logan, am I wrong? Am I wrong in the room here with it? Will you help me out. Help our conversation out.
I think it took Josh a little bit to see what I saw since like 2018, and it angers him. I think it angers him more that I was right.
No, not at all.
Than the Cardinals actually sucking. So
it doesn't anger me that you were right. It angered me that I was wrong. And I believed in my front office. That's what angers me. Not that you were right. I'm perfectly fine with you being right. The fact that I was wrong because I believed in the front office to do the right.
That's being wrong then, sir. That's being wrong.
I'm more upset that I was wrong than he was right. He could be right all day long. It doesn't bother me. The fact that I'm wrong bothers me.
Fair enough.
You got to understand how the complex mind works to understand that statement. So if you don't get it, I'm sorry. But San Francisco will make it to the World Series before St. Louis because their ownership is willing to spend money. They will go buy a team if they can. But the problem is players don't want to go play in that absolutely horribly run city with those insane taxes, with unclean streets. And
back to money. Wait, what are we getting? Are we getting to Paul? Are we getting to here with it? Nobody cares about Nobody cares about get off my lawn. St. Louis is what we can get the politics. What do you guys?
Oh, it's a horrible city, but it's
Oh,
not
there you go. So we're both talking here the same thing, and that's maybe that why they're mid at this point. If we want to get it, all I'm saying is
St. Louis is less than mid right now.
I want to get in Jamar. I want to get some of the comments in here. What we got? We got Giants will win a World Series for Cardinals, though. You mentioned
Agreed.
that. Jamarcus, if only SF got Aaron Judge. Yes.
That's
Driving into work, I hear that all the time. We also have an FF will go hard after Soto. There isn't enough.
No, they won't.
Giants fans, Shane, believe they're going to be number 2 in the running again. Like that's where they believe. They're not going to go after him again.
They're always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Exactly. I think you guys are a little. I think the thing with the Cardinals and Giants, for me, it's the Cardinals would be ahead of the Giants. I think you guys are a little. I mean, the pitching, you can say, well, the pitching's there for the Giants. Yeah, they have Webb, but Snell could leave. I mean, you guys are right there with them in terms of all that stuff. You have Walker still that could kind of turn it around. You have Helsley. I trust your guys is. And you still have Arenado and Goldschmidt, right, Logan? I mean, you still at least have them. I mean, the Giants don't have they have Matt Chapman. These guys aren't stars like those.
It was Arenado's backup in high school.
I'm just saying.
I will say that the Cardinals' future has not looked not looked as bleak as I have seen in the past. I was looking at their their farm system because I just to potentially talk about it later. I mean, they've got this Quinn Matthews guy who's been really, amazing.
Can't wait to see him
in the minors. Tink Hintz, another pitcher who's just been really good. Not there yet, but he's there.
He's getting there.
Lucan Baker, the most home runs in AAA. He just got called up. I think he's going to be the starting first baseman next year. Mason Wynn has. I hope so, or at least the DH. I mean, I'm just hoping that he has a spot where he's playing every day. Jordan Walker, Victor Scott, I'm hoping to be better next year.
So are you saying they got these old pitchers knowing there's a next regime? Like there's another – like are they the way you're talking is like they knew this group is coming. They'll have Wim, they'll have Walker hopefully, and then they can build around those guys. That's the way it sounds like you're talking to me.
Well, yeah, I think they have some really interesting players. Sajisi coming up next year too to play second base and probably replace Gorman or whatever. So I think they're. I think
you guys always hate on Gorman. He's going to turn it around somewhere. I know he is.
I don't hate Gorman, but I think that he needs a change of scenery, and they better not trade for him with a box of popcorn like they did with Dylan Carlson.
Logan, Brandy, can you go to the Giants real quick here for a second? Logan, I want to get before I go to Josh. The city aside, this team. I know you were. I got to give you credit. You were against them for you're like this team sucks. Like you were not with them at all from the start of the year. Remembering when you were jumped on earlier in the year. They have lived up to it. Tyler has been right. The offense is pathetic. To put a bow on this team for the year. Yes, I agree. They do have Webb, right? They have Snell. They have Ray. They have Harrison coming. Farhan, the GM. We have the best pitching staff in the league. It's like, what? Are you what? Like, are you kidding me? Like, you can't say that stuff when these guys come back from injuries. It never works out that way, ever.
Yeah.
I mean, Logan, this team is stuck. They are in bad shape.
Yeah, I think they see what won them the World Series, all those like in 2012 and 14 with the kind of the spares, and they think they can recreate that magic. And I
got to disagree with you there, though. I got to disagree. Yeah, because back then they didn't play analytic baseball. They picked up stupid Pat Burrell. They picked up Cody Rosses that struck out a lot. But they got Farhan from the A's and Dodgers, and it's like that's the big joke here in the same is like whenever they talk about Farhan, they put this like little meme in the background was like a computer basically spitting out like some like subpar guy. So people out here think he's a number 2 GM. Like he can get you a Mike Yastrzemski. He can get you these like kind of guys that will put you over the top, but he won't get you Aaron Judge. He won't get you the star players. So that's the question out here. Is he a big enough GM to get the star players? And you got to say, in 6 years, he has not been able to do that.
No, yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's kind of a shame. I mean, I know I said this at the beginning of the year. Like, I think they grabbed Snell to trade him at the deadline. Like, that was their only goal, and for some reason they didn't do it. I know the Yankees were close, but so they don't seem like they actually want to contend. But as the Cardinals, I think they want to give off the illusion that they are trying to contend.
Yeah.
Just so they can sell tickets. And I just don't. I think they are honestly a lot more equal than we want to give them credit for. Like, I always say, the Cardinals and the Yankees are exactly the same, but Cardinals are hoping for a major turnaround from Walker, much more offensive win, retro Arenado and Goldie, some miracle from pitching. Time to blow it up and start something. I don't think it's time to blow it up.
They're not going to blow it up. You just mentioned all the guys they're bringing up.
Yeah.
Brandon, did you have a thought there? I want to get you, make sure if you had one there.
So I was just going to talk about the Giants starting pitchers, and this how Farm said that they're the greatest pitching staff in baseball, and whatnot. So if I look at their ERA, they look at Logan Webb's 3.43, Harrison's 4.56, Jordan Hicks 3.9, and then Blake Snell, who's only pitched 16 games, and 8 of those have been quality starts. He's at 3.56.
Man. And I see. I want to shout out Brandon with the graphics here in the background. I love the little schedule you got here as well, sir. That's I like that with the little schedule thing.
Yeah, I had to blow up because my eyes aren't what they used to be. So.
Oh my God! Back in your day too, I could see it perfectly well. I was listening to last week. You did do a better back in the day than I did. With that, all right, standings check here with it. Let's get into it. Along the way, what do you guys got here with a? Like I said, you have the AL East, you have the Yankees in a big closer situation. What's going on there? You have the Orioles winning that division barely. I said Rangers have a crazy week. Don't be surprised you see some stuff in the background going on with their week here in a second. And then, like I said, you have the Cubs. They're late to the party, but they're still in it. The Brewers, are they going to get Edwards respect yet? White Sox 109 losses. Where are we at? Standings update, Edwards. Where are we taking this?
Wait, who does Edwards not respect?
He does not respect the Brewers at all.
Oh, okay. We are talking. I thought you said the Brewers, but I thought, well, we're not on the Brewers.
We got the American League up on the screen. He went to the National League.
I know, but those are my things.
Okay. I get.
There we go. So I know why Logan was lost. I think the Brewers have gotten extremely lucky. Yes, they're going to win the division. They're going to get bounced in the first round of the playoffs. LA is going to do just enough to keep. Yes, Shane. Yes, if you would have been here like 4 weeks ago, I was yelling about that.
Traded right there.
But you've been gone for a while. But it's good to have you back, buddy.
Where do you want to go, Edwards, with the standings? I'm going to leave it up to you. I kind of mix it up, so I feel like let's have a little fun with the standings updated date. That's those are kind of my things that stood out. We can get into a few of them more, but what's kind of
do what Logan tells me where I'm wrong.
Yeah, go ahead, Logan. Where do you like the updates here?
Are you good with this, Logan?
What?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so Brewers will win the division, yes?
Well, yeah. You're shocked by them, right?
You, Daren.
Yeah, but you're got to be shocked by them, right?
No, I'm not.
Right.
Not with the way the baseball is played nowadays in this division.
All right.
I'm shocked that the Cardinals were this bad.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, Brewers win the division, right?
Okay.
Bounce in the first round, right?
I don't think so. I don't. Not this year. I don't. I think they have a legitimate. I mean, I honestly, at this point, I think they're favorites for a World Series run. I think honestly, even better than the Phillies.
Wow. Okay, you're gonna have to defend that in a minute.
Okay.
Dodgers win the division. Padres stay back the same difference they are now. Arizona gets in. I think the Mets somehow overtake the Braves and get in as a wild card, and the Braves finish third. But I think the Brewers get bounced in the first round. I think the Mets get bounced in the first round, as long as they're not playing each other. And I can see the Padres taking out the Dodgers if they play each other somehow in the first round. which I don't think is possible. But anything can happen in this division, considering there's a total of 2.5 games separating the wild card out.
What do you make, Logan, of all that? There's a lot to take in there. That you have kind of NL there with it. Brandon, remind me, do you have NL? If you do have NL wild card up here too, maybe you could jump that on there as well. But what do you kind of make, Logan, of some of the standings updates? Like I said, I gave you some of mine along the way there with it. What do you kind of make with some of the again, this is one that's hidden. The White Sox do have 109 losses. People just want to throw that out as well. Go ahead.
The AL, I'm kind of surprised that cover your ears, Josh. I'm surprised that Kansas has kind of fallen off.
Really?
Yeah, they just I mean, what, 2 weeks ago when we were talking about it, they were 3 games behind the Guardians.
They weren't
they? They were like 2 or 3 games behind, and we thought that they were going to make it closer, and they just haven't. Like right now, they're struggling to have a playoff spot in the wild card. Astros being they've turned it on, honestly, and that has shocked me more than anything. Just because they were at the beginning of the season, we thought they were done. Their reign had been over. I thought they were going to be sellers at the deadline. Alex Bregman was going to go to the Yankees. Hader was going to get traded back to the Padres, all these things. And so that was kind of big. And the Red Sox, they've fallen off. I'm really surprised by that. I thought they were going to be in a wild card spot. I don't, as of right now, they don't have a wild card spot, right?
No, they do right now. No, they're not. They're.
Oh yeah.
No.
The Tigers are in this.
Yeah, that's the surprise. Boston's 5.5 games out of the wild card. Detroit's 5 games out of the wild card.
And that's why I said they're still they're over 500. We talked about Scooby Snacks there with it. The Red Sox have fallen off. They're now with the Tigers there. The AL West, like I said, give the emoji draft, right? Pumpkin. That was a correct pick a few weeks ago. October, here we come. We got that one at least right. Nobody has acknowledged the 31 and 109 yet. I mean, that is as bad as
I don't care.
120 is the record. I mean,
they're going to get there. They're going to get there. When we said earlier in the season, I didn't think they were going to be that bad. But did I?
120. I don't know. The way you talked, it might be.
They're so bad. I don't even want to recognize them as an MLB team. I think this organization should be, what do they call it in soccer? Regulated down to the minor leagues and bring up the best minor league team and put them in place for Chicago White Sox. Relegated. Thank you. I knew it was an R word.
You got it.
You do that to me all the time, so
I appreciate the help, man. You make
no. You do that. You do that to me wherever I try to say relegated, but I say regulated, and then you say no, it's relegated.
Brandon, let's go to the NL wildcard here. Back to that real quick. The Cubs, Mets, Braves. To me, this is the most fascinating part of the rest of. I mean, there is the division, but I want to stick here for a second because this part to me is very fascinating because the Braves were like a lock at the beginning of the year, like a lock. And now they're there. And then you have the Mets just continuing to surprise Logan Stone, continuing to surprise Josh Edwards. They're right there with it along the way. And then you have the Cubs coming out of nowhere. And what do they have? A better record than the Cardinals now in terms of percentage? I mean, you have these two teams now. I mean, the Braves are really going to get pushed here. Like the Braves are going to get pushed. Logan Stone. Are the Mets a viable wild card contender? And then we'll move on. What do you got? And then we'll go to Josh too first.
Yeah.
All right, we're in finally. You are in on the Mets finally. All right.
I will say the Cubs, I think are going to make it interesting. They had like 70 runs in the last 4 games or something ridiculous, and like over 100 runs in the last 10 games or something. I can't remember what the record was, but they were talking about that, and
it's awful. It's not something there with it. I wanted to address this 121. The modern day record is 120. I think there's like some 1911 team with like a more like whatever the Indians team was back in the day. Edwards, do you think the Mets are? Or go ahead, Brandon.
I was just gonna say that the Mets are currently. I didn't put this on the graphic, but they're a half game out of the wild card right now. And they are probably outside of the Diamondbacks. They've won 7 straight, and they're 8-2 in their last 10.
On fire. And some people are saying, Josh, my guy is back in the MVP NL talk. I get my guy Ant chiming in and a few other Mets guys saying, Lindor, you motivated him. I motivated him, they said. I said, whatever gets the job done for these athletes. If I have to motivate them, that's all it takes. Lindor, some people I brought up, I saw a graphic today that is there a chance he could win the MVP because of his ability to field? Ohtani doesn't field. I thought that was a ridiculous argument, but the Mets are still in it, and they are pushing the Braves, and that is something, Edwards, you did not expect.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm looking at something real quick as I'm going through this. So the Braves, even with the roster they have right now, should only lose 2 more series the rest of the season. They should win every other series they have coming up. I'm going to look at the Mets at the moment. I was trying to do this while you guys.
Well,
were
the Mets have a. It doesn't even matter the record for who they're playing and that stuff to me. Like at this time of the year, that stuff to me, honestly, it does matter, but it depends on how the team is playing more so than anything else.
So they have 1 series against each other through the rest of the season. Okay, and it's the second to last series of the season. The Braves' path to the wild card with what's left is easier than the Mets. The Mets have to play the Braves, the Brewers, the Phillies twice, and then they get easy series against the Reds, the Jays, and the Nationals.
I still like. I'm going to go on a limb. I picked the Mets to make the playoffs at the beginning of the year. I'm going to stick with them to make the playoffs.
Well, I just said a few minutes ago the Mets were going to beat out the Braves for the playoffs.
I know. I'm going to go.
I'm with you there, but I'm just saying the Braves' path is much easier than what the Mets have to go through for the rest of the season.
And they got Chris Sale, Cy Young. The Mets don't have that. They lost Senga along the way here. That's one of the biggest injuries of the year here to start it. All right, let's keep the show moving here along with it. The last thought that was the one thing I didn't mention was I feel like we did give a little disrespect to the Cubs. They have been absolutely on fire as well. They have been one of those teams that have been fire. So I do want to give them just a little respect along the way. And then the Rangers, they've been there as well. They've had a great, crazy week. This one, my guy Andrew Vaughn out here in Northern California, he just gets robbed by one of the plays of the year.
The 1-2. That's in the air left field. That's trouble. Jankowski back. And a magic catch. Oh my goodness, what a grab.
Game saver there for the Rangers there. So they get that as well along the way.
They DFA him the next day.
They did. I thought that was hilarious.
Why?
They bring you. That's what happens. That's what happens, except maybe the White Sox, especially now. Who do the Braves have on offense right now? Olsen, Ozuna, they've picked up. Urshela, they've only done into such. I agree. The Braves are in trouble, and that's why we kind of like the Mets to kind of. Lindor's had quite a season. I don't agree with the Ohtani talk in that regard. Like, maybe getting an MVP, that seems a little far-fetched based on our conversation last week, but we have that as well. All right, guys, let's get into here real quick here. We'll get to our spot here with Diamond Notes here. All right, Diamond Notes here. Padres activate Tatis Jr. after 2 months on the injury list. Michael Harris goes Spider-Man to rob a home run. I'll get that up on here. Schwarber is on absolute fire. We did the MVP thing where I was like, well, he could steal it if he gets 50 home runs, but maybe he will in the month here. And then you have Carroll Speed electric as well. And then I talked about the 105-mile-per-hour pitch. But, Edwards, what kind of stands out to you when you kind of look at Diamond Notes this week?
A couple of them. I mean, Padres getting Tatis Jr. back, that could be huge for momentum for them going into the last month of the season. That could give them the spark they need to secure the wild card spot, even maybe possibly, very small possibility, make a run of the division. And your Schwarber being on fire. I made a little bit of a comment about him earlier that Gorman is going to go somewhere else and he's going to be the next Kyle Schwarber. I completely believe that. He's going to strike out 35 to 40%, but the dude's going to smoke somewhere between 30 and 40 home runs. Merrill just homered again? Good God.
The man's on
that
fire.
Kid is hot. He's going to win Rookie of the Year.
Oh, he's definitely winning Rookie of the Year. Our guy, he's definitely winning Rookie of the Year. He's been awesome.
Who's winning Rookie of the Year?
Merrill.
I think Merrill's going to win it over.
Oh,
Skeen
Jackson Merrill. Jackson Merrill. Oh, okay. No, I think Skeens wins Rookie of the Year, but okay.
We'll see. We'll see. That might be a conversation for next week. On the way we haven't seen the Braves picked up Hayward. Can be yes, a nostalgia. I am always up for a nostalgia.
He did go to the
I'm tired of
Astros,
nostalgia pickups.
I am always a fan of nostalgia pickups along the way.
I'm tired of them now. The Cardinals do it so often, you get bored with it.
Hey, what do you guys make of these comments by Whitfield? Logan brought this up to me today. He got hit yesterday in the head. Just kind of.
We lost Riley. We almost lost Mike. We almost lost Darno in the span of 2 or 3 weeks. The way pitchers are throwing now, there's no remorse or the regard for throwing up and in. You guys are throwing as hard as they can, and they don't care where the ball goes. And they can't. You can't hit a guy anymore back. There's no fear that, if I hit this guy, our guy's going to get hit. That's not in the game anymore. Pitchers don't have to hit anymore, so they don't have to stand in the box. And the teams are bringing pitchers up. They don't know where the ball's going. They throw 100 miles an hour, so we're like, all right, we'll see if we can get the guys out. Just set up down the middle and throw it as hard as you can. And it's driving me nuts.
What do you guys kind of make of his comments? I thought those were very interesting, Logan. You sent this to us. Edward, let's go you first because I feel like I kind of want to get your thoughts for something before we go Logan on it.
What? Just so we can fight?
No, I just kind of feel like you might feel a different way, and I feel like Logan can kind of get it to a bow here.
Okay, so I don't know how you two feel about it, but you both probably know how I feel about it. Bring back the sticky stuff so the pitchers can throw 105 miles an hour and know where the ball's going. I completely agree with almost his entire statement. Again, this goes back to why are we changing one of the greatest games ever made, and altering all these rules? Get rid of the universal DH, give back the sticky stuff, let the kids work till they're 23 or 24 before you bring them up.
Well, hold on.
Stop rushing everything.
Yeah, but I feel like you're going to go too big picture here. I want to just focus on what he said. And what he said was they're bringing up guys too early. They're bringing up guys with not as much control. And what I think was more the get off my lawn thing is there's no repercussion. That, to me, is the biggest thing that I stated from that was that if you're a pitcher back in the day, you at least might get hit if you were – even the AL up to, 81 or 78, whatever it was, you were getting hit if you threw at them. And right now there isn't that. So that, to me, was the biggest takeaway.
It's because America has gotten soft. They don't like violence. Don't give me that.
Make sure to vote November 5th. Vote
That's
November 5th.
I'm culturally stuff. I'm not talking politically. Don't get me down that road.
But that's what I'm saying. This has nothing to do with soft. This is like
it does. It has everything to do with people.
No, because you could also look at 1970s. You could say well, I don't want 500 people on the field when you hit a walk-off home run. Like you could say that both ways go. I don't need everybody. Charging the field when you hit a walk-off home. That doesn't have to happen. So both things can be true.
That's not even apples to apples, Darren. I'm sorry, you're wrong. For our where did Darren go wrong? There's where you went wrong.
It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
It's exactly the same.
I can't believe that we're arguing about this. I thought this was so clear cut. I thought, this is what we're gonna agree on today, and I'm just shocked that this is turned into.
Where are you at? Was it Stone?
Well, I think you're right, I think Whit is right. You're right that there needs to be repercussions. I'm thinking yesterday if Whit Merrifield was let's say he was the third batter hit, and then he charged the mound. Guess what? He's going to be suspended for 2 games or 3 games because he's charging the mound and he's causing a brawl or whatever you want to call it. And I think that's ridiculous that if the hitters can't do anything about it, if the pitchers do anything about it, then they're going to get ejected because they're starting stuff and the umpires aren't going to do anything about it. So, I'm like, back in the day, we used to have you policed it yourselves and then you took away the police. And that was an issue. And so I think, there's we need to have a way to police it or there need to be repercussions on the pitcher. there's no repercussions, and there's no way for the pitcher to have any consequence.
No, nothing. And hold on, I know Jack Edwards. I'll let you wrap it up. Screw that. So much better without pitchers. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that it's affecting how if the umpires if the umpires say warnings, then that changes the game. Go ahead, Edwards. Finish it up.
It's what I was going to say is this is relevant across all sports. I mean, every major sport, and soccer is the absolute worst because somebody touches them like this and they fall to the ground and they're acting like their shoulders broke. But in hockey, they're trying to get rid of fighting. Basketball looks nothing like the basketball we grew up on, and you know it, Daren, because you're a basketball enthusiast. You know the game is soft. You know that LeBron James would be an average player in the late 80s and 90s era of basketball.
Well, that I do not agree with, but yes, continue.
Fine, he'd be just above average. He wouldn't be the dominant force he is in the game today.
All right,
because no official would give him the calls for the flops he makes because he's weak and he's soft. Okay, they're trying to mommies and little weaklings and people who don't like strength and power are trying to get rid of fighting in hockey. They've done that in other sport. They've done that in the other countries in Europe and Russia. They've gotten rid of fighting. Guess what happens? Players get severely injured because they don't police themselves. Because if you go run a guy, there's not another guy coming to take care of you like they do in the NHL.
All right, before you get to Russia and all this stuff, let's just keep it. Let's just keep it to what you're at with it right now.
I'm just saying there's no policing of the game by the players. There are no repercussions. Logan is right. It's because the game has gotten soft. Look at the Buster Posey rule.
There is, and they want their players to be healthy. It's just like the NFL, Josh Edwards. Hold on one second. You did a fancy draft last week, and the NFL has got no softer than that. So let's hold on before you get to that.
The NFL is super soft.
But you're still gonna watch, right? Go ahead there, Edwards. Or go ahead there with Brandon.
I was just gonna say you can't say the Buster Posey. He broke his leg because of that.
Like that one guy gets his leg broken, and we change the entire game.
It could have been a career. It was. That's not it.
You're
It could have been a career.
It's okay.
It could have been a career-ending thing for Buster
That's
Posey.
part of the game.
No, but that's on the NFL, and your precious NFL is doing the same thing.
And I think it's trash. That's why I watch.
What you said? You Logan? Am I right? He had a barbecue last weekend, right?
Yeah,
he had people over because of the Missouri.
I watched college.
And there is a run.
He put his betting on. So I mean, he's in Missouri, and he was like, "Well, I got to go over to Illinois in order to start betting on sports again." So
yeah, we got.
I live too far away from Illinois line to do that.
I mean, yeah, I do think to me, I think it is an issue because hitters are getting hit in the head, and pitchers are they don't have any control. Yeah. There's no repercussion, and there needs to be. I think there needs to be repercussions.
You should at least be able to hit the next team without a warning.
Yeah, no, yeah, and I think
at the very least.
Yeah, I think there's issues there that need to be fixed, and I know he said that he was on the committee, and he said he wants to have a long conversation about that, and so I'm kind of curious to see what they would do to fix this. I mean, and I think Josh said it earlier, and I think this is the truth. I mean, we talked about this, and I mean, when it was a big deal, but spider tack, I mean, not that I think that we need to have spider tack, but I mean, they've banned rosin and sunscreen mixed together. And they need to not do that at all. They need to there needs to be some form of a sticky substance,
something where they control it, right?
Yeah, they're able to control it, and
that makes sense.
That is the big problem. And so I think
no, I hear you. Go ahead, Brandon, before we move on.
When you have pitchers who can pitch consistently 103, 104 miles an hour and not be able to control where they're throwing the ball, that's where the issue comes into play.
Yeah.
You have to let them sit in the minors till they're 23 or 24 and let them cook a little longer is all I'm saying.
What is that national sign that they always show is I don't care how fast you threw ball four?
All people, all that matters now, if we look at things, I mean, take example, the Angels guy who just threw 105 miles an hour. The only thing that anybody's, shocked by is that he threw 105 miles an hour, which was almost unrealistic. It's
years ago.
at some point in time.
It was funny. I was listening to Mike Kruger, who's the the color guy for the Giants, driving into work today, and they mentioned that to him about a guy throwing 105, and he goes, all the differences is that they had radar guns back then. He's like, we had guys that threw that. Nolan Ryan threw that hard many times. Like he's like it just wasn't like a big deal as much. Like that's all we have with it. He goes, it also asked for more blisters on the hand with that little sticky stuff. Yes, a little list. The blisters.
Funny enough, I don't think I've heard anything about blisters this year.
We haven't heard much. We haven't heard as much this year without it. That's true. All right, baseball bonanza here. Who's pitching a must-win Game 7 for you? Number one, who's on the list? Randy Johnson for me. Who's it for you? Look, go ahead.
I was going to ask, is it current or all-time?
At any time, anybody on earth. Like, I mean, for me, it's usually somebody I've seen, but go ahead. Anybody you want.
Madison Bumgarner.
Whoa. Trying to earn some points with my co-host. I like that along the way. Royals, a little shout out there. What do you got there, Edward?
Bob Gibson.
Yeah.
Bob Gibson.
He's a close number 2.
Not a bad Game 7 guy.
Easily number one.
Not a bad 7
One of the best
guy.
pitchers ever in the World Series.
Yeah, Maddox, Johnson. How about Pedro? Is that there? Can we throw Pedro?
I would have taken Madison Johnson over Pedro. Pedro would be my top 10.
Nolan Ryan's not there. He hasn't won the Game 7s, I
Gotta
guess.
call the Yankees my daddy.
Yeah, he's my daddy with that.
No, stop that.
Whoa,
Oh my gosh.
Barry Zito in Game 6.
Sweet
Yes,
Lord
Barry Zito.
Almighty. I hate you. I don't even know this guy.
What a great choice.
You.
Very
I hate you. I don't even know this guy.
Very Zito. I like that.
I feel like my balls got squished.
What do you guys have for who's a player in the past that you wish you could have seen hit with your own eyes or play? Who is somebody you wish you could have seen play?
Can I say somebody I wish I could have seen and remembered?
That's my point. Who could you have seen?
Ozzie Smith.
Good call.
Oh, you say I'm thinking play. Oh, hit, shoot.
Oh,
I mean, whatever. Hit. See, I don't care. Same thing.
Play.
Josh.
Play in general.
Yeah. Who do you wish you could play? I mean, for me,
honestly, Rogers Hornsby.
That's a good call.
Stan Musial.
Yeah, Stan Musial up there. Joe Jackson.
Ted
I
Williams.
like Joe Jackson.
Clemente for me. The way Willie Mays talks about that.
There's too many on that list, man. We're baseball fans.
Yeah,
there's Josh Gibson. I think that's a really good one. I would love to see if the hype was real. You know, everyone says he would have made Babe Ruth look like a minor leaguer or whatever, and I always want to see that. And
Jackie Robinson, that's a good call there with the Range Sports Show there.
I'd love to watch Jackie rub the
Babe Ruth, kind of hard not to say. All right, let's see what we're worth here with 714.
Mickey Mantle. I mean, any of the greats. I mean,
yeah, those are a few.
But yeah, to me, Rogers Hornsby is number one, just because he. I mean, there's that story of I can't remember the kid who.
Oh, Tony Good.
Yeah. Tony Gwynn would have been awesome.
The pitcher who had just come up. And he had to pitch to Rogers Hornsby, and he kept throwing what he thought were strikes, and the ump kept calling them balls because Rogers hadn't swung at them. And he goes up to the ump and he says, "Hey, you want to give me a couple pitches, or don't you know that some of these are strikes?" And the umpire said, "Son, if you know, or if you threw a strike, Rogers Hornsby would let you know." And just because he would hit anything in the box.
You gotta like
impressive.
That's funny. That's a good one. What's another one here? I just feel like there's so many on the list, right? That we could choose from there along the way
that's too big of a list, buddy.
Yeah, there's too big of a list. I also feel like, what was it? We said Roberto Hank Aaron, obviously on that list as well. Logan went a few places there with it. Bonds again. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Bonds as well there. Pete Rose would be a random guy. I know he's kind of controversial, but he'd be somebody. I've seen a lot of documentaries, read that book.
Playing ability was never controversial.
No, and
so I don't know anybody who wouldn't want to see him play.
So I kind of wouldn't mind seeing what that hype was lived up to as well there with him. And then randomly Francisco Valenzuela. If I could have been there during that little 2 year that run where he's on fire back then, that's somebody that I would have loved to have on there as well. All right, baseball bonanza. What is your go-to food items at a baseball game, Edwards? Is it hot dog, beer, hot dog, soda? Is it not? Is it nachos? Where are you going? Is it not?
Beer, and more beer.
Well, that's 1, 2, 3. What are we going for? Number 12 on the list. What do you go 12?
That's kind of random. If I'm going to a ballpark I have never been to, or a ballpark I get to go every once in a while, it's more like what's their stadium food? Like what are they known for? So when I go to a Reds game, it's a Skyline Coney dog. When I go to Bush, it's nachos and a pretzel usually because my wife likes those, so we split them.
All right, I like that. I'm always hot dog and a beer. Hot dog first.
Ballpark hot dogs are the best, hands down.
No doubt where I'm going with it. Logan, you go what are you getting?
I'm actually not a big food guy. Whenever I go to games, I don't know why. I just always forget, I guess, and I guess to me the pretzel and the hot dog.
Not even sunflower seeds, even. You get like peanuts. Yeah.
Okay, so I do chew whenever I'm at the ballpark. Don't tell the ushers.
Whoa! Rated R version tonight. We got
rated R version.
After Josh Edwards threw out we got to be careful after today. What do you got here? No. So you don't eat when you go to get. That's shocking to me. Brandon, you got one down there. You go to what do you go to when you get? Brandon, you a hot dog?
No, I don't. I'm the same as Logan. I don't eat when I go to.
Wow, you save money.
Mostly because it's like $110 to just buy food there, and so
that is correct.
It's a little much. It's a little much. So I'll pass. I'll go somewhere else and eat a little bit more enjoyable food.
So hold on. How many games do you guys go to a year?
I'm always getting a hot dog when I go.
I haven't gone to any this year. I was going to go to the Yankee game tonight, but I decided not to, and that was the right choice right there. It seems like
maybe it was. I'm always hot dog.
You went to a lot more games than I did. I go like one game a year, so when I go, I enjoy the experience of the ball.
My brother got the Nachos A's helmet last time, so I got the helmet. We got that right here. We got the nachos in the helmet there. All right. Should we get to the part of the show that maybe we all regret a little bit?
Logan, I got it right last week.
Can Josh Edwards
get to it? I was shocked by this. So
can Josh Edwards get to in a row right this week? That is the key. All right, hit number 1. I played from 2006 to 2020, playing for 4 different teams, finishing with the Cubs and Braves my last 3 seasons. I went 163 and 122 in my lifetime as a pitcher. Any guesses that we have there?
No, not him.
163 and 122 starter.
Decent first
Braves,
hint.
Cubs, 3 seasons.
Hit number 2 will be a lot easier, of course.
Okay. I don't really have anyone at the moment. But
hit number 2.
Who pitched on the Cubs World Series team?
Hit number 2. I was a 4-time All-Star pitcher and finished top 10 in Cy Young voting 4 times. I never finishing higher than 5. I won the NLCS MVP as well in my lifetime. Any guesses there as well?
Can I guess?
Brandon, yes, you were.
Is it Jake Arrieta?
It is not Jake Arrieta. A solid guess. Brandon, you were always up to you were up to the segment. We get as much help as possible as Edwards is staring into the screen as Giambi is just coming in his mind. It's not Giambi this week, Josh. I promise you. It's not Giambi.
I'm trying to go through who I knew who pitched for the Cubs when they won the World Series.
Cubs are not. Cubs isn't going to be the biggest hint. Braves isn't going to be the biggest hint. But those are the name. Those are just the teams he finished with to try to.
Yeah, but that gives me an idea.
Arrieta spent most of his time in Chicago.
I want it.
Logan, you got one for you to hit number 3? You want to throw a name out?
I mean, I want to say a Giant. Like he started off with the Giants.
It's not a Giant. Hit number 3. Hit number 3. It's not Lester as well. Hit number 3. I won a World Series.
Hamels.
There we go. Mr. Cole Hamels. It took him a little while. He got it there.
My gosh.
He pitched for the Phillies forever.
Stupid.
He did pitch for the Phillies forever. He got traded.
If you would have given us anything about the Phillies, I might have had a chance.
Well, I can't. That's too easy at that point. We can't go Phillies. That's too easy to end the show. We can't go Phillies with it. We get him on the state. is a no-hitter. Logan Stone, his last at bat
against the Coobies.
Logan, you thought you had it. I thought you had it. Yeah. I thought you had it. You did get it right though, so we can't blame Logan. You did get it right. Here is a last no-hitter. His last start actually with the Phillies, believe it or not, people. And he threw a no-hitter.
Hollywood is trying to ride a beautiful script here this afternoon. The 3-2 pitch to Chris Bryant. In the air to center field. Herrera going back toward the wall. Does he have it? He reaches down. Did he make the catch? He made the catch.
He made that more dramatic than it needed to be.
No-hitter in Philadelphia Phillies franchise history.
Oh, what
I think
a
the
beauty
wind
there.
caught it, and then the sun caught his eye. So yeah, that's impressive.
Cole Hamels, great pitcher though. Great pitcher.
He was fantastic. I hated it when the Cardinals had to play him.
128 pitches at that point for him when he threw that pitch. 128 pitches. That seems kind of crazy to me. That many. That's how many he threw right there. I don't know. That seems like a lot.
Yeah,
120.
That is a lot.
That wasn't Charlie. No, Charlie Cox wasn't there.
No, he wasn't there. Was it? So that's the trivia with it. We get it right. Logan this week gets back on track.
I should have gotten it at number 1. I'm sorry, guys. My adoring fans needed that. Needed me to get 1. So
you let us down as a community, but we have survived. We will get on. We will move on to it. All right, final segment here.
What a ride. The Cardinals are world champs in 2011.
MLB Flashback. We'll let happen soon, boys. We'll get that on there with it, hopefully. This happened today, right? This happened today in 2004. Yes, it is Moneyball. It did happen today, folks.
Oh.
Scott Hatteberg does hit the homer
today,
believe it or not. Here it is, Mr. Shane.
Thanks, Jim.
Mr. Hatteberg. Jim, appreciate you tuning in. Let's end it with this.
This year, Hatteberg in pinch hitting roles is 1 for 5. 269 average. Has gone deep a dozen times. Now the pitch. Swung on. There's a high drive. Hit way back. Right center field. That one is gone. And it's 20 consecutive victories for the Oakland Athletics on an unbelievable night when they lost an 11-0 lead. And now they win it. Hatteberg is bobbed at home plate.
Gentlemen with the A's, like I said, Josh Edwards, expect a few of them on this week with about four homestands left. That one was one of the best ones. That one always cracks me up because that game was not on local TV. It was on ESPN. And unless you had, we didn't have ESPN package, so we couldn't get ESPN 2 back then. So it was not on TV locally here. So you had to listen to it on the radio. Bill King, the guy you heard on the call, one of my favorite broadcasters of all time. That's where I ended up hearing it, was on the radio for that win. So that was a big one in my lifetime with the A's ending. I thought that was a good one this week. So that was a good week. Logan Stone back with it this week. I appreciate you, John. We talked a little Cardinals this week as well. Edwards as well. Brandon, jump on for a second here. What'd you think, producer? I thought it was good, man. Thanks for jumping on with it.
Yeah, no problem. That was fun. It was different.
It was a little different, but I thought your timing was good with it. The facts with it was. I need that at times.
I had one more for you, Ferry. You said Scott Hatteberg, right?
Yeah.
Scott Hatteberg. So he spent most of his time in Boston. He ended up finishing his career with over 1,100 hits in his career, in his 13-year career, finishing in Cincinnati.
He was a catcher and then burned out his arm and then moved to first when he went to Oakland.
Who do you trust in the clutch more, Chris Pratt or Scott Hatteberg? Who do you trust? That is the key.
Hatteberg.
We go Hatteberg with it. I love it. That's where we got that with it. Brandon, that was fun though tonight. I kind of like the idea of this. Hopefully it will work going forward with it.
Yeah.
And that was fun, guys. So good show tonight. Logan Stone, appreciate you joining us again. I know playoffs coming. Hopefully you'll be able to jump on a little bit during that time as well. Edwards, good show as well, sir.
Thank you, sir. You were fantastic as always.
Did I go wrong tonight anywhere? Did Daren go wrong tonight?
I already gave it to you where you went wrong.
That's it? That's the only place? I like that. Logan,
I will say that you said Scott Hatteberg's home run was in 2004. It was in 2002. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I forgot.
I can't believe you. And you call yourself an A's fan.
Oh, man. I was I'm
Wait,
40
who-
now. Give me 2 years of memory loss. Give me 2 years.
Who would you rather have, Miguel Tejada or our boy Eric Chavez?
Oh, this is without a doubt. It's Miguel Tejada. He's my favorite A's player of all time. I'm not choosing.
Oh, that's right. You said that.
And then Chavez. They did sign Chavez. He's the one guy they did sign in my lifetime, but I'm bitter about that one as well with it. So, yeah. So I'm gonna try to get to the game next. They play the Tigers this weekend, so I might try to get out Saturday, and then they end up in a couple weeks. They play the Yankees, and then they finish off with the Rangers. Those are their last 2 games in Oakland. So
you got to go see Judge play. Why not?
Yeah, my son wants me to
for-
take me too.
Yeah.
Not for the price that they're paying.
They will probably rip it. I figure the Tigers on a Saturday. I'm probably paying $10 to sit behind the bullpen. So that's probably where I'm thinking. That's right.
I told you like tickets to the Yankees A's game because I was thinking about going up there to see the last one of the last series there, and it was like $200 for tickets to the Yankees A's series. And
Time
then
you pay
Rangers.
parking.
Yeah. How bad is parking up there?
For a Giants game, it's $50 for most places. For an A's game, it's about 30 to 40
Oh my gosh!
in the stadium.
Fisher's a thief.
You can save $20 at SeatGeek with code VSN.
There you can. We like it with it. On that note, Variety Sports Network 7th inning stretch. September baseball is here, folks. We got a new kind of edition here with it. I liked it. It was fun tonight. Cy Young talk. We got into that. Appreciate anybody that joined us for it. Be sure to check out the replay. We'll have the cuts for you tomorrow as well. So for Logan Stone, for Brandon joining us as well for the first time, Josh Edwards. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.